Of change on the horizon. Oklahoma wants to keep one thing the same as they beat
the Sooners over to the Huskers. Our viewers are in for some really good softball, really quality
flow softball. OU opens up with the doubleheader. They've got Duke coming up after this. That one promises to be an unbelievable matchup as well. Oklahoma will certainly face a high-quality field. We were talking about how deep this group is in Puerto Vallarta. Oklahoma will start with UVU, then Duke, then Washington, and then a Long Beach team that has been as consistent as it gets out in the Big West. Patty Gasso will always want her team to be challenged. That can be challenging sometimes. Every once in a while, they'll make a really good opponent look like not that. But OU will certainly have their hands full these first few weeks.
Yeah, this tournament, a lot of people look at opening weekend and you get your feet wet, you get going. But with this field, there's no time to get going. You have to be able to turn it on. And Patty Gasso does a great job of making sure they have a strong schedule. Even though being the #1 team in the country, there are times she tries to enter tournaments and it's full, or the opponents are like, that's a little bit too much to add you to the field. And so it has to be a challenge sometimes for her to find quality opponents early in season for her team. But she's been able to do that in this Puerto Vallarta tournament, as you mentioned at the top. It is probably the most competitive field this tournament has seen in its history.
And there have been some really good teams that have come through. The folks at Triple Crown do an outstanding job organizing this tournament, putting together an elite Oklahoma team seeming ready to go. They always cliche you hear this time of year is we're ready to face somebody else. That has to be triply true for these Oklahoma hitters and pitchers. They are sick of playing their counterparts, representing maybe the toughest challenge they'll face all year. Certainly
incredibly well.
That one looped into left, and no issue with Speedy Riley Boone. Little dribbler. May fields her position well.
He was talking about culture and how every time another athlete, they have potential to pick her up, he asks their teammate how they were as a teammate.
Lifted up, and a little runaway there at the end. Nothing but laughter for the back-to-back champions.
Slower, but Coach Thompson talking about the efficiency of Hallie Morris, and some of that will come with how quickly she works.
Carried over to Bettencourt in right.
And you can see they're respecting that, trying to stay down in the zone to see if they can get her to chase.
A 4-pitch walk begins Ella Parker's time with Oklahoma. Patty Gasso could not have been more excited.
Not necessarily pounding the zone, but showing OU just enough strikes that they have to be aggressive, but at the same time, not letting them get set. Jennings right behind her as well.
You're exactly right. Just throw it low, start over with a fresh count.
Almost put Tiare Jennings on and take my chances at Cassidy Pickering. She's a freshman, hasn't had a college at bat yet. Not that it's necessarily going to work in your favor, but the odds are a little more in the favor of Morris in that situation.
2 for 2 in her last 2 predictions. The legend Kat Osterman, it will be the freshman. This OU staff around it, you can take the battle series as near gospel. And so Pickering excelling there. Likely means good things. She drives that one into left center field. Cassidy Pickering goes yard. Her first OU home run. And how Oklahoma is this? In the first inning of the season, the Sooners go one.
Going after Pickering was not a bad idea, but Hallie Morris needed to work ahead. Pickering takes this drop inside, actually slices it her to walk in a run.
It's Sanders on that one. She drives it into left. 4 straight base runners after the second out for Oklahoma in position. Payoff pitch to Avery Hodge is in there for strike 3. So the inning comes to an end, but not before Cassidy Pickering goes yard in her first collegiate at-bat. Angelique Mann giving her a battle, but it's a laser to Sid Sanders.
3 straight rise balls from Nicole May to Gibbs.
Put that one a little lower in the zone, and it's no issue for Avery Hodge.
There's a play made with a diving catch, a great throw, something. So Oklahoma plays all sides of the ball extremely well. Really wild can be in your favor, but Morris getting too many 3-ball counts, especially 3-0 counts in that first inning.
No chance. Dead in.
A lot of discipline. They have not chased a pitch out of the zone, in my opinion, so far in this game, other than Jada Coleman having to protect on that hit and run.
Coleman manages to find the gap anyway. Boone flying around the bases. She goes to third. Beaners at the corners. Coleman took second behind that action. So great eye candy, and it's ripped into center. Boone scores easily. Coleman comes home. 2 RBI for Ella Parker. Her first as a member of OU. And miscues all around. Oh boy. 7-0 Oklahoma.
Ella Parker takes this outside pitch just up the middle. You know Jada Coleman's going to be on the move. But Ella Parker heading to second on the throw home and miscues. And Patty Gasso going ahead and sending her all the way around as that ball ends up into the deep outfield.
Snap payoff. Elevated into right field. A whole lot of carry. And there it is for Alyssa Brito. Work the count full, wait for your pitch. Brito sends it long. Brito tied for the home run lead. And that one given a ride to left. Back-to-back jacks for Oklahoma. Two of the best to ever do it in an OU uniform. There you go.
Trying to use her rise ball a little bit there on the inner half, and really this home run is the strength of Kinsey Hansen. I don't know that she even...
MLB Network streams the game alongside us here at Flow, and OU simply makes it look easy. So does Tiara Jennings. She's going to first.
They make it look easy, but you would think looking able to use her rise ball and change up to get outs, but right now having to use this change up as her strike pitch.
Chopped up. That did the job. UVU needed that. Sanders right up a shoot. And there are the first few outs of Avery Sapp's career. Even you see another Oklahoma pitcher in that game. Who knows, depending on how it rolls for the Huskers. Across the diamond, Brito and Sanders. Theory to beat Jordy versus Ruby, a pair of former prep teammates. And two of the best in the country going at it. Pickering just made that look easy.
Left field.
Going to be so many different variations for this Oklahoma team. That's a high chop, got through, and that's enough. How about Lainey Benker, her return, missing all of last year with an injury.
I think their strike zone discipline needs a little bit of work. They're chasing a couple pitches out of the zone, especially as lefty slappers right now.
Your point, went after one, and Nicole May has her second strikeout of the day. Oklahoma goes to the bottom of the third in the driver's seat.
So it'll be interesting as this tournament progresses to see how each program approaches this first tournament.
That will come in and plunk Hannah Core. Well, she won't actually add to that collegiate dominating the Big 12. And those two will both be in different leagues next year. That is well done by Alina Torres. Core goes to third. The Oklahoma machine continues to churn. Coleman. Wasn't even a bad pitch, and it doesn't matter one bit. Torres and Core cross. Oklahoma goes into double figures here in game one. To get better. And at the end of the day, get ready for your matchup with Iowa State, which will come before the end of today. That'll be at 3 Mountain for the Wolverines as Ella Parker has her second collegiate walk.
Almost every Power 5 program uses Synergy, and now a lot of the mid-majors, Group 5s, they're starting to adopt it as well because they see how much of an asset it can be, not just for your opponents, but for your...
Potentially adding some depth behind the plate. She's played a little short in her career as well. An all-around athlete. Ludlam sends that one into foul territory. We're waits, finding ways to be productive even without. Sacrifice fly scores Coleman. Really interested in pitching to Tiara Jennings. She's 1 ball away from beginning this game with 3 straight walks. And there it is.
You have no scouting report or no stats. No one knows where you like to locate the ball, how often you throw your off-speed pitch. So for freshmen, the scouting piece is still about the same as it was years ago. It's just a matter of how quickly do people adapt.
Sacrifice fly for Cassidy Pickering. She will pick up RBI number 5 here in her very... Comes in and grabs her. She's thinking ball 4 would have been just fine. And Hannah Core comes up for a second time.
Thompson can get his pitching staff back on track.
Core drives it into right. Bettencourt corrals it. Still another productive at-bat.
I'd expect to see her getting more of those opportunities this season.
That's a perfect bunt by Hallie lifts, and it drops just in front of Jada Coleman. And Oklahoma miscue.
Most out of that flex position. He did say that when Hallie Morris is in the lineup to hit, that whoever is in the flex will be able to run.
That one right up the chute. And no issue this time for Kiara. That one giving a ride into right, and it drops. A hold at third. The bases are full of Wolverine. Nasty. Even when Kirsten Deal gets into trouble. One more freshman entry in a big spot for Utah Valley. Amber Rodriguez put it in play. Brito was right on it. Utah Valley leaves the bases loaded. This 9 spot's been good. A single, double, and a base on balls to hand it back to Coleman. Straight to Rodriguez.
Yeah, it'll see if sophomore slump is a real thing, if Duke can combat that with the freshman that had such an impactful...
For Oklahoma. And she won't make it quiet. A hard hit ball straight at Moreno. But an excellent recovery.
Hits and no runs to show for it, but the way they've approached the Oklahoma staff really has impressed me. They haven't looked like they're scared in the box whatsoever. They came out aggressive. Didn't have hits to pay for it, like I said, but they definitely took their hacks.
Good grab. Brito up against the fence. One of the more versatile players in the country. She'll play any position. A dominating win for the Oklahoma Sooners. Strikeout for Monticelli, her first as a member of this Oklahoma Sooner team that has now won 54 games in a row. And the chase for 8 begins with 1-0. Now, though, OU gets ready for a big one. It's this.
Came out swinging. They came out swinging. They came out dealing it. Nicole May got them off to a hot start, expected from the senior in the circle. But if anybody thought there was going to be rust or complacency with this staff, you haven't watched how they've prepared in the last few years.
Our entire crew in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm Corey Brooks. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. 2 of the best in America coming your way next on Flow Softball.